welcome back to Popping the Popcorn. I'm your host Katie, and today I have Michael James Minard here. How you doing?
I am doing great.
That's good. How was your day? Did you have a good day?
I did. Once again, before we started streaming, just a busy day with shooting a couple of commercials, lots of drone involved. Part of the reason I keep looking over here is if you guys can't tell, I'm in my office, so you'll see a bunch of gear cluttered behind me and stuff. So
That's okay. We're casual here, so it's all good. Um, so hey Patrick, how you doing? What's going on?
Patrick,
Hey Don, how you doing? Hey Echo, welcome. And I guess they're talking about all talking to each other. Hey, there you go.
nothing
Um,
just popped up. Wait,
hey
Patrick.
Denisha. uh,
Excuse me.
so so Michael wrote a movie and directed it called You Should Have Killed Me. So we will be talking to him about some of his movies and everything like that. And we will see how that goes. And if you guys have any questions for him, let me know in the chat. And you guys are more than welcome to answer any questions you guys have. So so what made you start the movie? So what made you write it?
Well, so the short answer is basically You Should Have Killed Me initially was actually a proof of concept film. Up until then, I had only done um, like short films, things of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had filmed like 6 or 7 short films, something like that. And I had actually written a script for another feature uh, called Dissonance. And I didn't quite knew if I had the ability to tackle a project of that magnitude at that point in my career. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I wrote You Should Have Killed Me as a proof of concept film, which at the time was called The Dead Man Walking.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, it started out as like a 20 to 30-minute film. Um, and then we had a table read with the cast and crew, and everyone loved it so much that they were like, "Hey, man, I know this is supposed to be a proof of concept, but we feel like this has plenty of potential to be its own standalone feature." So I
Mm-hmm.
went back, added to some characters, kind of started revamping the entire film, and ended up taking what originally was supposed to be like a 20 or 30-minute proof of concept film and made it into an hour and 20-minute feature. And the only reason why it's not called the Dead Man Walking anymore is because when we got picked up by Bayview Entertainment, very
Mm-hmm.
rightfully so, Bayview was like, "Hey, the Dead Man Walking kind of sounds like Dead Man Walking, which is a very
Mm-hmm.
successful Sean Penn movie. So you guys should change the title, and then we'll go from there." And yeah, the rest is history.
That's awesome. And I liked how you did the contrast in that movie where like Sully's like talking and it goes from like color to black and white. I think that's really unique cuz most directors nowadays don't even use that, and I thought that was really unique.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big influence of mine. Pretty much every director that likes to play with the way time works. One thing you'll probably see from me in the future, if you follow, is I'll probably never make just a linear movie. I'll always try to hop, skip, and go forward or back in
Mhm.
time. And the way I wanted to do that was to show at least that the black and white scenes are
Mhm.
scenes that happened previously in the story. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, a perfect example of that would be, with Oppenheimer with Christopher Nolan. Ironically, he actually did the black
Mhm.
and white scenes were kind of like the present time, if you will, and then all of the
Mhm.
color scenes were, the previous scenes.
Right.
So just kind of a opposite of that kind of effect.
Mhm. I thought that was really cool because most filmmakers nowadays don't do that. So I thought that was kind of cool, and it reminds me of like the Albert Hitchcock films and stuff like
Mhm.
that, black and white.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, so what influenced you to like write the movie? Was it like mobster movies or was it more action movies?
Well, I've always dabbled in that genre, kind of the crime, gangster, Tarantino, Scorsese. Obviously you had excuse me, you had Goodfellas show, or at least that scene
Hmm.
during like the opening. So I've
Hmm.
always been a fan of that, like that genre of just mobsters, gangsters,
Hmm.
crime, bank heists, things like that. Um, but actually,
Hmm.
what started the film is there's a scene very early. Excuse me, everybody. I'm getting over some allergies, and I've had a
You're
cough ever
good.
since.
No worries. You're all good.
But basically, what started the film in its entirety as an idea is there's a scene
Hmm.
very early on, when the lead character Monty is basically um, on his knees begging for forgiveness. His crime
Hmm.
boss, if you will, is getting ready to
Yeah.
shoot him, and he pulls out a coin. And that
Hmm.
coin, just to explain it to people, uh, is a coin that my father bought me. So, for
Hmm.
anyone who is, no offense, but I am not a religious person. Don't believe in it. Don't go to church. Whatever.
Hmm.
To each their own. But my parents are both very devout Christians, and my dad bought me this coin. And on
Hmm.
one side is Jesus's portrait, and on the other side is Da Vinci's Last Supper. And it was
Hmm.
kind of his way of just saying, like you need more Jesus in your life.
Right.
Excuse me. So he bought me
You're
this
good.
coin,
Hmm.
and I told him, I go, I'm going to use this in a film, and I'm not going to use this the way you want me to use it. And he
Hmm.
was like, okay. So the first scene I actually wrote was the scene of Monty being confronted by the mob boss and the mob boss's henchmen, and after a
Hmm.
bank heist. And the scene idea I had um, was taking that said coin that my dad gave me and then kind of using it like a coin flip of whether
Hmm.
someone lives or dies. Um, and talking about Tarantino, at least being the screenplay writer, I've always loved that scene in True Romance, with why am I drawing a blank?
I don't know if I've seen that Tarantino film.
So in True Romance, there's a scene with Dennis Hopper and why am I drawing a blank? Christopher Walken. And Christopher
Hmm.
Walken plays a mobster who's looking for Dennis Hopper's son. They kind of have this like really cool sit down, and
Hmm.
you know Christopher Walken's interrogating Dennis Hopper, and uh, I love the dialogue of that entire scene, and I kind of just wanted to do something similar, but
Hmm.
utilizing that coin that my dad gave me as a joke, and so yeah, that's what we did.
That's awesome. And I also like the dialogue in your movie. It's so witty. You wrote like the characters, especially the stoner characters, so witty. And most stoners wouldn't say some of the stuff that those stoners say.
I will have to give them credit. There's a lot of um, improvising from Bryce and Dylan.
Hmm.
So Dylan Yeager played Ducky, and Bryce Taylor played Kevin. And
Hmm.
so there is a lot of one-liners that was not me. So what tends to be a fan favorite scene is when they're talking about character Raymond, and the lead
Hmm.
character says something along the lines of like, "Shit, it had to be Raymond," and then it goes back to the stoners, and Kevin goes, "Well, everybody loves Raymond." Like that
Hmm.
was like a huge fan favorite that got a lot of laughs, and I have to admit I didn't write that. They were
Hmm.
outside rehearsing lines where we were getting lights set up and cameras set up and things like that. And
Hmm.
Bryce came in and just said, "Hey, I'm kind of feeling this line. Do you mind if I say it?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, go for it." So yeah, there's a few funny
Hmm.
lines in there that I can't take credit for. It's just
Hmm.
all
I was
thanks to the talent that we have. So
I was laughing so hard when he said that. I was like laughing so hard. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." I was laughing so hard. And then when they're in the car scene, because they like go for like a ride, and the
Mhm.
cops gonna get him, and I was like, and he's like, "I told you not to eat it, and you ate it anyway."
Yeah, yeah.
That scene was
That part is mine. I can't trade credit for that, but there is a lot of there's a lot of dialogue by everybody that's not scripted. And see, I'm not. So there's like a famous quote about Tarantino, which you'll probably hear me bring up a lot if you ask me about my influences and kind of my inspirations. Um, there's a famous quote. Actually, it's by Brad Pitt, but it's about Tarantino. And Brad Pitt was describing working on Inglorious Bastards, and the quote he used was, "The script is the Bible, the set is
Mhm.
church, uh, Tarantino is God, and there is no heathens allowed."
Right.
As much as I look up to Tarantino in many aspects of like my filmmaking,
Mhm.
I, I'm just not that guy.
Mhm.
For me as a director, yes, I write the screenplay, yes, I cast for it. But once that
Mhm.
happens, in a way, I kind of like pass the baton on to the actor. I'll give
Mhm.
them the information they need as far as like who their character is, like what they're up to,
Mhm.
maybe the wardrobe, maybe a little brief synopsis. But like at the end of the day, like I'm not an actor, I'm a director.
Right.
My actors are the ones that take my character and are actually portraying my character.
Mhm.
So if they come up with ideas and you know they're they say like, hey, like I agree I need to say something here, but I don't think my character would say it this way.
Mhm.
Or hey, I think my character would say this a little bit differently than what's in the script.
Mhm.
I'm all ears. Like at that
Right.
point you are the character. I'm not the character anymore.
Mhm.
I just gave you the excuse me, the base to start out from. So
Mhm.
I kind of let my actors kind of
Right.
reign a little bit free and make the characters kind of whoever they want at the end of the day. So
I kind of think that in films makes it a little bit better because they have the mindset of their character that they're playing. So I think that
mhm.
that's really cool that you let them improv like that because that's always fun to see in movies.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean it was a learning experience. Well, not even a learning experience. I knew it was going to be a positive outcome, but
Mhm.
excuse me. Even watching those lines that people
Mhm.
consistently bring up with, "Oh my God, I
Mhm.
love this line. I love this line. I love this line," um,
Mhm.
and then watching it on stage and hearing the laughs in the
Mhm.
theater or whatnot. Um,
Mhm.
Probably a good 70% of the time, it's not my dialogue; it's the actors saying the
Right.
lines that they want to say. And
Mhm.
if you can let your actors breathe like that, I feel ultimately you're going to get a better product in
Right.
the end. So
Did you find the actors or did you do like a screening call or how did you find your actors for the movie?
yeah, so good time to bring this up. So there is a Facebook page called Iowa Film, and it's honestly excuse me. It's honestly great to join whether you live in Iowa or not, or even if you don't live in the Midwest. It's honestly a good platform to join. Um, but with that being said, so this Facebook group, Iowa Film, pretty much everyone that's actively working in the state is all a part of this Facebook group. And basically, you can put casting calls on there, you can do whatever you
Mhm.
want. So I would say a good 50% of the actors in my movie were previous actors that I had already worked with on short films. But the other
Mhm.
50% were actually actors that I had literally just made a Facebook post in Iowa Film and was just like,
Mhm.
hey guys, I'm making this feature. I need these
Mhm.
roles. Let me know if anyone's interested. And generally, you're going to get some very good, professional talent involved. Yeah, so that's kind of how I did my casting. Was literally just a film group that looks out for local talent, whether it be filmmakers or actors or
Mhm.
whatever it may be, and kind of puts everyone in the same room, and then we're just able to network and connect from there.
That's awesome. And then did you meet everybody like the first table read, or did you meet them
Yeah,
before?
yeah. So some of my lead actors, I actually did a short film. Excuse me. In between, um, excuse me. I actually did a short film in between when I finished the script when I actually shot the feature, and I
Mhm.
wrote it specifically for the lead actor that I knew I was going to be working with on my feature. Mostly
Mhm.
just because I wanted to see how him and I interacted on set with each other, to make sure that everything worked and was going to go
Mhm.
smoothly. That film was fine. It was great. We had a lot of fun
Mhm.
doing it. And then yeah, so with the feature length film, I like obviously I think we had one table read. I can't remember if we did one table read virtually or not, but for sure we had
Mhm.
one in person table read, where I was able to meet everyone, get a chance to talk to everybody,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was for any young directors out there that want some like early advice without having
Mhm.
to, one of those advice tips that doesn't have to deal with like investing in gear or lessons or something like that is honestly get your cast and crew together for a table read. Let them bump elbows with each other. When you get on set, it makes everything way more relaxed. People know each
Right.
other. It's great.
Mhm. Yeah, I love the cinematography too. The cinematography was awesome too as well.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, that all comes down to my director of photography, Michael Huntington, and my gaffer, Ty Belfie, who lit the entire movie. Those are so Ty Belfie is actually a guy that I went to the same college with, who I had met by going to college there,
mhm.
and then Michael Huntington was once again a guy that I kind of met on Iowa Film, who was doing
Mhm.
like pretty big things, and
Mhm.
just connected with him, networked on there. And after
Mhm.
seeing his work, I was just kind of like, "Hey, man, you're my guy. I want you to be my DP." And yeah, the rest is history.
That's awesome. And you filmed the movie all in Iowa,
Mhm.
in like different places around there and stuff. I thought the
Two
bar was really.
places. Yeah, 90% of the movie was shot in Waterloo, where I'm from. And then
Mhm.
about 10% of it was shot in Cedar Rapids, where most of the cast and crew is from. So that 1 or 2 days of shooting in Cedar Rapids was more of just uh, hey, let me make your lives easier, and let's shoot in your hometown, and I'll make the drive instead of you guys, and try to make it a little bit
Mhm.
easier on all of us to do it. So
That's awesome. And I thought the bar scene was kind of cool when he walks into the bar and he's like, "Give me my money." He steals the gun from like the other mobster. I thought that was
yeah,
funny.
yeah. So that's Jameson's, and that is actually my pretty much my home bar. Um,
Mhm.
if you went through that wall behind me, you would
Mhm.
basically walk a block and a half, and you would run into Jameson's.
Mhm.
Um, People know me there by name.
Like,
I did an autograph signing over a massive festival there, and yeah, it was great. So yeah, they've always been big supporters of me, and it's kind of
mhm.
like I feel like everyone kind of has their bar, at least the ones that drink as much as I do. But it's also
Right.
nice to have a bar that also kind of promotes your career as well. So
That's awesome. And I'm sure you made friends with the owner and stuff like that to let you
mhm.
film there and everything. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And Patrick saying everybody loves Raymond.
yeah, that was one of Patrick's favorite lines. He
Yeah.
was he was a big fan of Ducky and Kevin. So
Yeah, I was too. I really liked him. I also liked the interaction with Sully and the interaction with um with drawing a blank at the moment, with the main character who Sully shot, and I like how they played off of each other too. They played off of each other very well.
Yeah. Yeah, Damien and Maddie are great. Damien played Monty, and Maddie played Sully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did great. So,
they played really well off each
oh
other,
yeah,
and then I like how they were like Sully was walking around with one of his henchmen, and the henchman was talking, and they were like smoking, and they were like talking, and they were going to like Ducky and Kevin's house, and Sully just sits on the couch and goes, and the other guy's like in the house as well. I thought that was kind of unique as well.
yeah. So, yeah, Patrick's obviously you've seen the film, so he's got an inside scoop. Uh, yeah, I knew Patrick really loved Ducky, Kevin, and Jeeves. In fact, shout out to Patrick. Anyone who isn't subscribed to him on here, he's actually going to be interviewing. I know for a fact he's going to be interviewing Rob Merritt, who plays Jeeves, because Rob told me. I'm not sure about dates with Ducky and Kevin yet. But yeah,
That's awesome.
shout out to Patrick. Had a great time on his interview, and
Patrick, if you want to, you're a mod. You can post that link down below so people can go see that video as well if you want to.
ooh.
Yeah. No, Patrick's a good friend. He's a mod, so he can post links and stuff like that. I try to have people on my channel that I trust to be mods. So he's one of them. So he can post a link to
Auntie
that.
Jeeves and Ducky. Ooh, have you released those dates yet? I'm excited to see their point of view. I guess if
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I guess if I'm secretly an asshole director, you guys will find out in that podcast.
I don't think you are, because you seem like a down to earth type of person. So I don't think you are.
I try to. Patrick touched based on it a little bit. He had asked me the question, have you ever got recognized in public, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really weird introduction to fame, actually, at an early age. So before being a musician, or sorry, before being a filmmaker, I was a musician. And I
Mm-hmm.
was actually signed to my first record label when I was 19 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
I basically handled being somewhat famous the wrong way, which you should not do.
Uh-huh.
I was just very arrogant and a giant dick and just thought I was better than everyone. And
Right.
so I'm hoping this time around, if it happens, and say I even just reach the level of like, I don't know, like Neil Blomkamp, who's like a very
Mm-hmm.
successful director, but he's not like Steven Spielberg status,
Right. Mm-hmm.
Even if I just reach that level, I would hope that with my maturity and the
Mm-hmm.
person I've grown into, I wouldn't have any issues with, being a dick for no reason. So,
Right. Yeah, he's saying Rob's on October 3rd,
dang,
Damon's on 9th, and then Ducky's on 24th.
yeah. Patrick
Mm-hmm.
scooping in the "You Should Have Killed Me" crew basically all through October. That's great.
Mm-hmm. I should go find their Instagram like Patrick did or something and go see if they'll come on here and
Oh, I'm
hang
sure
out.
they would. They've been given strict instructions by me to basically do all the marketing they can. So,
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll ask Patrick. I'll have to message Patrick after this and tell him, hey, give me their contact information.
yeah, absolutely. Once again, to those that are watching, and to those that will watch, I apologize for my cough.
You're okay.
I, like I said, my allergies were kicking my butt, and then I've had this cough for like a week now, and I thought I was just about over it yesterday, but I haven't done this much talking in a while. So,
Uh, Allergies suck. I live in Florida, so allergies suck. We get them all the time here, especially because I live in an area with these big like pine trees. I
mhm.
call them Christmas trees, but they're really pine trees, and they bug the crap out of my allergies. So in the morning, I'm coughing like crazy, like you are. Like my throat's so dry that I'm coughing, and then it takes me at least an hour or two to stop coughing finally. So no worries, no problem. So and Don, my good friend Don is saying my allergies fall are killing me too. We understand. Yeah,
Night Owl
we
movie
understand
talk.
completely. Um,
That are
so
like it's
so
like
how did
two
you?
descriptors of me is I'm a night owl and I like to talk about movies. So
Mm-hmm. If you guys haven't gone saw, he's my brother from another mother. Check out Don. He's amazing. Um, he stays up late. He does watch parties at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know if I can handle that. I got two kids, but I
But
might
yeah,
be
he
at
does.
least I might be able to do midnight, maybe one, somewhere in there.
Mhm. Um, hey, maybe next time I should have you on and we could watch your movie. There we go. We could do a watch party for your movie. That
Ooh,
would be fun.
real time criticism, my favorite.
That would be fun, right? We could do
I
that.
mean, I would do it. Um,
And then Patrick.
all criticism does is just make you a better director. People shouldn't be killed about, or people shouldn't fear it.
And then Patrick's saying you can get your movie, buy it on Bayview Entertainment. You can buy it there. And it's an awesome movie. I like the cover of the movie too. I like how you got some of the movie stills in there.
Patrick,
That's
if
pretty
you
cool.
keep commenting, I'm just gonna have you join the video chat and do a three-way.
I can send him the link. Hold on,
No,
Patrick.
I don't want to take anything away from you, Katie. This is your show.
It's all good. Patrick's co-host with me before.
I mean, if you want to, I'm all about it. I love that guy, but this is your interview. I'm sure Patrick would be perfectly fine if you said
Well, I
for
don't
him
know,
to
Patrick.
go elf
Are you
himself.
doing Are you doing 8 questions with tonight? I don't even know. Is Quentin
Oh,
Tarantino
yeah,
one of your favorite?
you could be doing both.
Or
Sorry,
is
was that a question or were you asking me?
I was asking you. No, he said no. You're rocking it. He doesn't want to come up. Um, is
Well,
Quentin Tarantino one
fine,
of your
Patrick.
is Quentin Tarantino one of your favorite directors, or do you like anybody else?
Oh, I mean, I like cinema in general. As far as see, there's a difference between like my favorite directors and like my bigger influences. So um, Tarantino is definitely an influence of mine,
Hmm.
along with Guy Ritchie, Troy Duffy, um, who did Boondock Saints, movies kind of that nature. Um,
Hmm.
but then also, like my favorite movie of all time is actually Children of Men, which is an Alfonso Cuarón movie. Um,
That's a great movie.
and so, I mean, it's just because I might be influenced by a director doesn't mean I don't watch like other directors. Um,
Hmm.
this might be an unfair thing to say, but like besides Fight Club and Fincher, or excuse me, and Seven, two of
Hmm.
my like all-time favorite movies. I don't really like anything else by David Fincher.
Hmm.
So that might be an unpopular opinion. And I'm not saying his other movies aren't good, but like I don't feel like anything's topped Fight Club. And
Hmm.
argue with me in the comments if you want. But that's just kind of my opinion. So I mean, I go back and forth. To me, like if you make a good movie, I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to want to watch
Right.
it. And
Hmm.
and that's just kind of like where I stand. So
Hey, I like Fight Club. That's one of my favorite movies, but we don't talk about Fight Club.
we don't. That's the number one and two rule of Fight Club.
Right? But I thought it was interesting though how that movie, like how Edward Norton and Brad Pitt played off of each other so well. It was
Mm,
such a good movie.
yeah,
You should do something like that. Your next movie, you should do something kind of like Fight Club. There you go.
could be. I'm actually scheduled to shoot my next feature in January of 2024. So we'll see what
Oh,
happens.
nice. Well, well, I'll watch it once it gets into production and everything. I'll watch it and I'll tell you how I like it.
Well, at this point, kind of the weird way I describe it is anyone that's in contact with me that I consider my friend, I call them like Michael alumni, if you will. So
Hmm.
it's like you've already worked with me. I've already built a rapport with
Hmm.
you, especially like industry um,
Hmm.
individuals that are involved constantly with the industry and with
Mhm.
filmmakers and things like that. So odds are you might even just get like an early cut anyway, and I might just be like, hey, let me know what you think.
Yeah, I will definitely. So on my channel I give my critiques on the film. Like that's why I haven't done um you know what Rob Zombie's Monsters, because I didn't like that movie. So that's why I have not reviewed it, because I will cut that movie up so bad,
Honestly, you should.
you
I,
know.
I have not seen it, but maybe you need to.
Maybe. You'll be like, what is this girl talking about?
Just pull like a critical drinker or something and drink some
Mhm.
booze, go off about how terrible the movie was, and just be like, "Go away now," and then just leave.
Right? Kind of like Drunk History. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I have. I'm
With
a
the
big
with the
history buff, so
with the actors, and they're talking about different like history parts, and the guy's like asking him questions as he's drinking. I love that show.
have you ever heard of? This seems like something up your alley. Um, there is a British actress um,
Mhm.
that does historical videos and just like
Mhm.
completely ruins them.
No, I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out. Um no, I like a little bit of everything, but I tend to go for more the mobster type of movies or crime movies, because my favorite movie of all time is Goodfellas. So I love Martin Scorsese.
Yes, Goodfellas is great. So this British actress I'm thinking of is her name is Kunk, Cunk,
Mhm.
and she has like a YouTube channel where she talks about
Mhm.
like she'll interview like real professors, real scientists, whatever she's discussing,
Mhm.
and then kind of does like almost like a Borat routine where she just
Uh-huh.
asks super dumb questions.
Mhm.
She's great. She's hilarious.
So if you become a famous director, what famous people would you like in your movies? Who would you cast?
Oh man, that is a great question. Um, a lot of my heroes that I would have loved to be in my movies are sadly kind of passing away on me. Like I would have loved to. Speaking of Godfather or Goodfellas, I would have loved to work with Ray Liotta. Uh,
Mhm. Patrick's saying you are famous.
who's famous?
You.
Me? I'm not famous. Um, fuck, I don't know. It's a good question. And part of me wants to say like younger actors around my age or younger, but I will honestly admit I'm the worst at remembering
Mhm.
actors' names. I think Austin Butler would be cool to work with, but I would
Mhm.
want to use him in a way he's never been used before. I would definitely want to like push him to his limits and kind of stress him out a bit.
Right.
Um, Tom Hardy would be cool, only because I would work with him and not give my wife a chance to meet him because that's her celebrity crush. So it'd just be kind of cool to have that bragging right. Like I worked with your celebrity boyfriend, and you
Right.
you can suck it. I don't know. Yeah, there's just so many good actors,
Mhm.
and I'm the worst. So actually, why I'm thinking of this to bring this up. So my next feature, that desk
Mhm.
you see behind me, my coworker where I work, um, he and I are actually going to kind of pull like a Cohen brothers or Russo brothers and kind
Mhm.
of direct it together. And
Mhm.
so he he's kind of like I used to jokingly say
Mhm.
before he got involved in filmmaking with me that I was just going to hire him as like my casting director because he would like
Mhm.
bring up someone's name and I'd be like, I don't know who that is, and he'd be like, well, they were in this, and I'd be like, oh yeah.
Right.
He just like he's so good with names. He's so good with like
Mhm.
like the movies that they're in. So most of the time when someone's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this actor?" I'm like, they're just like, "Well,
Right.
I'm like Tyler, and he's just like, they're in this, and this, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "Oh yeah,
Right. That's awesome. Can't wait to check that out from both of you. That'll be awesome.
yeah,
Um so what was your favorite scene to shoot in the
yeah."
movie?
Say that one more time. Sorry, I was dying over here.
You're good. I said what was your favorite scene to direct in your movie?
Um, there are so obviously the scenes with Ducky and Kevin, our two stoner characters, were just kind of fun,
Mhm.
especially to kind of see, what they were going to do. So it definitely kind of brought a smile to my face. Uh,
Mhm.
but I think I think my favorite scene was there was so she has a very small role in the movie, but
Mhm.
Monty's wife, she's played by a actress named Megan Frankovich. And I've worked with Megan since my first short film ever.
Mhm.
She was casted in that as well. And so I've just she's kind of like she's always kind of like my go to, just because I know
Mhm.
she's reliable. I know she's kind of basically down to do whatever I need at short notice, like anytime.
Right.
So I kind of always kind of pictured her for that role. But there's a
Mhm.
scene later in the movie
Hey Val.
where her and Monty are kind of running out of time.
Mhm.
And they're kind of in a predicament, and things are kind of getting taxing on both of them.
Mhm.
She calls Monty, the main character, and she's upset. She's crying. She's, talking to him on the phone.
Mhm.
She's very, very distraught. And I think that's probably my favorite scene, at least as me
Mhm.
as a director, in a sense of
Mhm.
before Megan had acted with me, she was only in one other film.
Mhm.
And I think majority of the work after that film was all for me. But it
Mhm.
was kind of full circle to um,
Mhm.
like see her be able to
Mhm.
deliver such a dramatic scene
Right.
when I had never asked her to do
Mhm.
that before, and also she had never done it before. And
Mhm.
the fact that she just like went full in, delivered,
Mhm.
it was kind of a full circle moment for me as a director, because it was just like, whoa, like I watched you from the first short film I ever made until now, and you're just killing it. And
Mhm.
I think in that moment, I was just very proud of her. And I would say that's probably one of my favorite scenes as a director that I kind of remember shooting. But I
Mhm.
mean, everything on the day, like everyone did such a good
Right.
job. But yeah, that one kind of comes to mind. It's just because I was very, very proud of Megan for her performance that day.
Right. How long did it take you to shoot the movie? Did it take you a while?
The principal shots were done in 10 days,
Mhm.
but the overall shoot ended up taking about 13 to 14 days. There were some not
Mhm.
reshoots, but just some like B-roll inserts, things like that we had to get on different days.
Mhm. Did you
So
have to work overnight a lot of the time, or did you just work like in the
no,
daytime?
we just generally worked like 10 to 14-hour days to get it done, and
Mhm.
the whole movie really was done in like 10 days. I could have made an edit out of what we shot
Mhm.
in those 10 days, but the movie would have came in at like
Mhm.
75 minutes. So to try to make it that feature
Right.
length,
Mhm.
or not 75 minutes, sorry, it would have came in at like 45
Mhm.
minutes, but to try to make it
Mhm.
that feature length, we added some inserts, kind of extended some
Mhm.
things, and yeah.
Um, did you send your movie out to like all kinds of networks and stuff, and that's how Baby pick it up, or did they come to you?
No, actually, that's also a good question. So how that happened is my bestest boy, Brian
Mhm.
Bryson, um, he and his husband live in Boston. He is
Mhm.
my composer, and he knew a producer and fellow filmmaker in his own right named Doug Meyer, and they were at dinner one night. And Doug asked my producer Brian, "Hey, do you know any filmmakers that are doing anything worth a while?" And
Mhm.
Brian was like, "Yeah, actually, I'm working on this film right now." And he lined up an email from Doug, and Doug was just
Mhm.
like, "Hey, I know your film's not done yet, but do you have anything you could send me?" And I said, "Yeah,"
Mhm.
and I sent it to Doug. Doug pitched it to Bayview, and then Bayview picked us up.
That's awesome. I know
So,
Peter really well over at Baby. He's awesome.
yeah. So once again, in kind of any industry, all about who you know. And luckily, I knew the
Mhm.
right people at that time. So,
What would you tell a new person coming into the writing world or directing world? What would you tell them?
well, let me tackle that because that's two parts. The writing world is write about what you know. Um, Me as a director, even with
Mhm.
as successful as I am, which Patrick has pointed out above, um, I would never
Mhm.
write like a Marvel movie because I don't, I wouldn't know how to go about making that movie. Um,
Mhm.
I also don't have the budget for it. So if you're starting out and you're writing your own screenplays, don't write a movie that's going to cost you, $150,000 plus to shoot, because odds are
Mhm.
you're not going to make that money in order to do it. So write about what you know. That also includes dialogue. A lot of my dialogue is based on conversations I have with my friends. So they're ultimately
Mhm.
real conversations that I have with my friends that I will adapt into the storyline. So as far as screenplay writing goes, write what you know,
Mhm.
whether that be dialogue, situations, the overall plot, um, the overall story, things like that.
Mhm.
And as far as directors, something that I struggled with at first, and mostly because I didn't know.
Mhm.
Um, so when I first made my first short film ever, I didn't know commands. And when I
Mhm.
say commands, I mean as simple as, looking at your sound guy and being like, sound, and then him being like, sound speed. Or looking at your cameras and being like,
Mhm.
rolling, and they're just like, camera rolling. Like, I didn't
Mhm.
know any of that stuff. No one
Right.
ever told me it. Um, and then also, I was a first year film school student when I made my first short. So I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. So there
Mhm.
actually wasn't a lot of direction from myself. We would show up to set and everyone would
Mhm.
just kind of look at me like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm just like, I
Mhm.
don't know. What do you guys want to do? And
Right.
like, and it's not because I wasn't necessarily confident. It was just like, I didn't know what to do.
Mhm.
So I would say first time filmmakers, like, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Um, don't be afraid to, or don't be afraid to like exude confidence, even though you may not have any. Because at the end of the day, like you as the director, everyone there that's on set is trying to make your vision come true. That's what they're there for. And if you're not confident,
Mhm.
they're not going to be confident. And then you're ultimately going to release a project that has views and thoughts and opinions and everything else from everyone else on the cast except you, and it's not going to turn out the way you want. Um, but with that being said, once again, first time directors, be organized, be humble, be willing to get, advice from people who have been doing it longer. Um, so yeah,
Mhm.
there's that fine line of just like, being confident and achieving what you want to achieve, but then also, you know, learning from those around you who have more experience than you do.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, and that's a great answer to the question. Patrick saying, "I bet Michael could write a CSI Las Vegas episode."
Debatable. Actually, Patrick, I'll tell you what. If you write the Adventures of Ducky and Kevin, I will film it.
Yeah, that would be fun, Patrick.
And
You should do that.
you can throw Jeeves in there too.
That would be cool. Patrick's a good writer, actually.
There
A
you
lot of
go.
y'all don't know that.
Hook it up, Patrick. Send me a
Yeah,
script, at least 90 pages. We'll talk.
yeah. So, did you do you have any overall like views on yourself, like as a director? Did you like say I could have done this scene better, or I could have done this different as you watched the movie back, or as you were
Well,
editing it?
yeah. To be fair, and I guess I'll be a little vulnerable with you guys and the people watching. I don't know any director who honestly hasn't made something that they wouldn't do differently.
Mhm.
I mean, even the A-list guys out there, I'm sure
Mhm.
when they watch their films would be like, should have done this different, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
As far as the way I see myself, um, I see myself as a father and a husband.
Mhm.
Um, and for me, filmmaking is kind of my dream, right? And
Mhm.
there's many times where I could have given up on that dream. Um, but with that being said, filmmaking is one of the only things that I love doing. Um,
Mhm.
when I was quite younger in my late teens and early 20s, I mean, I would only work at a place for 3 months and then leave and get a different job because I was just so unhappy with everything. And
Mhm.
filmmaking is one of those careers where, I could work a 14-hour day, half crippled, can't feel my legs, my knees are on fire, and I lay down in bed and I can't wait to get up and do it the next day. Um, so, with that being
Mhm.
said, going back to being a father and husband is for me, filmmaking is kind of almost, it's not something that I love, but it's also a way for me to show my kids that, like, nothing's impossible. If you work hard
Mhm.
and, like, you really put your mind to something, like, you can achieve what you want to achieve. Um,
Mhm.
so, yes, I enjoy filmmaking. Yes, I love filmmaking. But the way I see myself as far as a filmmaker is also a father and a husband because uh, hopefully at
Mhm.
no point in my kid's life do I not ever introduce myself as a filmmaker. Hopefully I'm always a filmmaker.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I'm not saying we'll
Right.
see as far as like I'm going to give it up and
Right.
quit, but at the same time, like, like I want my kids to see, like, hey, anything is possible as long as you work hard and you put your mind to it. So
Mhm. I agree with you. I always tell people follow your dreams no matter how big or small they may be. Because if you take any director or any writer, I say a lot of people probably told them no and they're like, I'm gonna show you, and they did it themselves.
yeah. Um, so far I've been lucky with the nose. Um,
Mhm.
I got asked one time on a previous podcast, not recently, actually a while ago, where it was
Mhm.
like why do you call yourself a filmmaker? When did you first start referring to yourself
Mhm.
as a filmmaker? And my answer was because no one told me I couldn't,
Right.
and so that's just kind of where I'm at. So I haven't had a whole lot of
Mhm.
no's, but yeah, I mean it all comes with the territory, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, I like seriously, you know, Patrick's Patrick since I've met him has always been a very big proponent of mine, which I appreciate. He's always helping me out, trying to advertise the film, trying to advertise me. It's
Mhm.
great. And yeah, to the average Joe, if you Google search Michael James Minard, you're going to get flooded with 50 plus
Hmm.
posts about my film or musical endeavors. And so to the
Hmm.
average person, that might be like, oh, this guy's famous. But like at the end of
Right.
at the end of the day, I still work 9 to 5. I love my job. I love making commercials. Um, you'll see me at Jameson's where we shot the fight scene in the movie, drinking beer with my friends,
Hmm.
hanging out. Um, and ultimately, at the end of the day, just going home, being a dad, being a husband.
Hmm.
To me, being famous, is, you know, on the news or on TV or, big Hollywood famous director. Like, I prefer to
Hmm.
just be myself. And, even before this podcast started, you had said, like, hey, if you ever come down to Disney World or Disneyland or whatever it may
Hmm.
be, and, let me know and I'll come hang out with you. That's the way I am here. Like, if you're in
Right.
Iowa, like, and you're just like, hey, I'm in Waterloo, you want to grab a beer? I'm like, fuck yeah, let's grab a beer. Sorry.
You're good.
But it's just like, yeah, let's grab a beer. Let's hang
Hmm.
out. Let's get to know each other. Uh,
Right.
I'm a very simple person. Once you hang out with me once, you pretty much know me for the long run. So
Hmm. Patrick saying Iowa has great talent. Yes, they do. Yeah, I agree. I think the more down to earth directors there are, the better the world is, because there's some kind of like not so nice directors, and you can tell that they don't meet with their fans, and it's nice to have people in the film industry that will actually like, especially with indie film people, they're more vulnerable to talk to you than like the Hollywood ones would. And I think that's very unique as well.
yeah, I try. I'm an open book. I mean, I'm 33 years old. I have zero shame whatsoever. I do not
Mhm.
care at all what anyone thinks about me. So
Right. Well, I think you're a nice person, and y'all should go check out. Uh, you should have never killed. Uh, Messing up the movie. Um, you should.
oh, that was good.
You should have killed me, because it's a great movie and I really enjoyed it. And he sent me the screener for it, and he's like, "Let me know what you think." And I watched it like 2 days later, or the day later. You messaged me and he said, "What did you think of it?" And I was like, "I loved it."
Yeah. Catherine, what's your middle name?
What was that?
What's your middle name?
My middle name?
Yeah.
Lynn.
Oh, I was so close. I was gonna say
What
it
were you gonna
the
say?
next time you mess up my film's title, I was gonna be like Catherine Lynn. Shame on
Right.
you. No, I was gonna say
Patrick said.
for some reason I was gonna
Patrick.
say Catherine like Leanne or something. I don't know.
Right. Patrick saying, what are your thoughts on Hocus Pocus 3?
Oh no, he said what I thought it was Hocus Pocus 3.
Oh.
Patrick is being what we call a sarcastic prick in the comment section.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Love you, Patrick.
Um. No, because I think he's saying, because in the car they said something about Ducky
Oh yeah,
and
Hocus
Kevin
Pocus
said,
smoke this.
yeah,
Okay. Never mind,
yeah.
Patrick. I was being crass. You're just more clever than me.
Actually, Patrick does not like Hocus Pocus.
Oh, you said indeed, though. He admits to being smarter than I am. That makes sense.
Because he doesn't like Sarah Jessica Parker, so that's why.
Yeah.
But no, that had me laughing though in the car scene when they said that, that had me
Actually,
laughing.
that is another improv line from Bryce when he's like, yeah, Hocus Pocus smoke this. Like, that's all him. That was not in the script. I cannot take credit for it.
Did you have good shooting days? It looks like all the scenes were like pretty much sunny out, which was nice.
Yeah, it actually worked out. So, the, the first part, I guess chronologically in the film. So what is supposed to look like morning, um, those days that we shot, it was actually like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, but it just happened to be overcast those days. And then we got lucky because as the story progresses, it tends to get more and more sunny,
Mm-hmm.
which was not like always the case for those days, but it kind of worked because um, like we basically shot majority of the we basically shot majority of pretty much everything at like golden hour just to get the best light we could.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it was
Take care.
yeah, whether it was overcast or not, we still
Mm-hmm.
shot kind of at the same time. But we just got lucky, and all of the scenes that are overcast just tend to be in the morning, or um, kind of more like it. It just makes sense, if you will, as you watch the movie, where it's like, and kind of the way we did this. I don't know if you picked up on this. So the way I did the color grade for the movie, I had
Mm-hmm.
the idea of Monty's kind of playing a game of like hot and cold solely, right?
Yes.
So, like as he gets closer, it's like warmer, warmer, warmer. As
Mm-hmm.
as it gets colder, colder, colder. So when he first wakes up after being shot, it's a very cold color grade, lots of blues, turquoise,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And then as he gets closer and closer to confronting Sully, I don't know if you noticed this, but the color grade gets warmer.
Yes, I noticed
And
that.
so I wanted to do that to kind of show like him tracking down Sully and
Mm-hmm.
um, going that direction. But it just worked out because like when we shot the scenes that just happened to take place in the morning, they were
Mm-hmm.
overcast, so it was easier to make them cooler and stuff in the day. So
Yeah, I thought that was interesting how you made the warmer colors when they were getting closer and everything. I like that kind of stuff. I'm the weird person that notices stuff like that. I just don't talk about it as much, but I'm the weird person that notices it. Oh, you're good, Carrie. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. She's my good friend, Carrie Craves Cinema. She's my partner in crime. She's one of my good friends.
very cool. Hello, Carrie. Thank you for joining.
hmm So do you guys in the chat have any questions? Let me
Besides
know. It's
Patrick,
all good,
you're cut off, Patrick.
Carrie. All right, Patrick probably has 20 million questions to ask you. Um, yep, my partner in crime. See, yep. Um, so what was your relationship like with the actors? Was it good? Did you guys get like butt heads or anything?
No. There's one actor which I will not name, um, mostly to protect them. But we had a bit of a falling out. He made some accusations against me, which were just quite frankly not true.
hmm
So we just kind of agreed to disagree and not work together anymore, which is unfortunate because they are a really good actor. But other than that, yeah, no, everything was great. Everyone's been super supportive.
hmm
Um, Patrick, I don't think I know any of the Care Bears, man. Sorry.
It's a joke because they like to play off of Carrie's name. They call her Care Bear. That's her
Mhm.
name.
Yeah, I was picking up on that. I don't know. I mean, the Care Bears were definitely in the '90s when I was a kid, but I don't actually think I remember any of their names.
I don't remember their. I remember like isn't one of them Rainbow something? I
I
don't
don't.
even know. I
I
watched them
thought they
in
just
recent.
had like names based off feelings. Like it would be like Sad Bear or Happy Bear. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, apparently I'm Care Bear. Um, what are some of your favorite movies that you like to watch that you watch it with your family or anything like that?
Well, let me give just to make this entertaining. I'm going to give you my favorite movies that are generally controversial.
Okay, go ahead.
So obviously, I did say my favorite film of all time is Children of Men. Um,
Mhm.
I really, really enjoy Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor.
That one
Uh,
was good.
it's extremely controversial because it's not historically accurate. The love story
Mhm.
sucks. Blah 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 blah. I think it's a excellent movie.
Mhm.
Um, or some other controversial ones that I like that everyone else hates. Um, Generally, most of them are Michael Bay movies.
A lot of his
Um,
movies are okay. I like Transformers though.
the Transformers ones were okay, and then obviously Bad Boys 1 and 2 was pretty good, and Armageddon. But like, I watched Ambulance or The Ambulance, and that was
Hmm.
a giant
Hmm.
cluster fuck of terribleness.
Right.
I mean, you
Hmm.
have millions of dollars and you handhold everything and everything's shaky. It's like, get out of here.
Right.
Um,
He's saying a Midway was pretty awful, and as was Red Tails. Patrick's saying that.
yeah, I agree. Actually, okay,
I
so
didn't see
I
Midway.
did I did agree that Midway was in itself a bad movie. However, I will say this: um, Midway was historically accurate, as far as like a history buff's concerned.
Hmm.
There was one scene where like a mechanic on a ship jumps in the back of a plane
Hmm.
with a kamikaze pilot coming down, and the plane is parked on the runway of a carrier, and he
Hmm.
like shoots it down, and the plane
Hmm.
misses the ship barely. And then immediately he's called up and promoted on the
Hmm.
spot for doing that. When I watched that, I was like, "There's no way that shit happened." Mm-mm. I was like, "That's Hollywood."
Right.
Only to find out that it actually happened. It was true. There was a mechanic that hopped in a gunner's
Hmm.
chair in the back of a fighter pilot, shot this
Hmm.
kamikaze down, got called up to the bridge immediately, and was immediately promoted from
Hmm.
like private to private first class.
Hmm.
Like, I was like, I can't believe that. That's crazy. So I thought that was great. Uh,
Um, since you're a history buff, do you think you'll ever do a movie on a history?
I would like to. I've been working on a screenplay off and on for like the last 4 years. So I mean, who knows?
Hmm.
But it's called Roar. So
Hmm.
ROAR, which I'll probably have to change again because I'm sure there's a movie called Roar out there. But the movie idea I had was about the St. Valentine's Day massacre, and
Hmm.
obviously I know that that event has already been made into a movie. However, what I thought was
Hmm.
really interesting about the St. Valentine's Day massacre is like it's like 6 or 7 guys got shot up against the
Hmm.
wall, and one of them was an
Hmm.
optometrist. He was just an eye doctor,
Hmm.
and no connections to the mob whatsoever. Just wrong place, wrong time. So I thought it would be kind of cool to make a movie about this optometrist. Like, what kind of guy was he? Why was he hanging out with
Hmm.
them? Things like that, and then kind of tell a story about how he ended up in that place when he did.
Hmm. Joe's saying he has a question for you. If Michael could direct a Halloween movie, what would you direct?
Hmm. I have seen the Halloween movies. I have not seen the most recent one. So I saw the one where Jamie Lee
Hey Dan.
Curtis gets him trapped in the basement of the cabin and starts it on fire. I did see that one.
Hmm.
However, I have not seen the one where he comes up and smokes the firefighters and all of that stuff.
So Halloween ends or Halloween kills? Does the Halloween kills is the last one?
Yeah, whatever
No,
the
Halloween ends.
yeah,
Halloween ends and
whatever the
kills.
most recent. Sorry, Nana will correct me up with that joke. I bet the optometrist didn't see it coming. Oh, God, what a great fucking joke. Sorry.
You're
Um,
good.
Comedy. Anyways, um, any Mark Norman fans out there? Sorry. Um, what was I saying? So I don't know. I would honestly, the Rob Zombie remake of Halloween, I thought was brilliant. And I'm not sure exactly if I were to direct a Halloween movie, I'm not sure exactly what the storyline would be necessarily, but I would definitely want it to have that gritty realism that Rob Zombie's
Hmm.
remake did. That's probably kind of the feel and the
Hmm.
atmosphere I would dabble in. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that backstory was pretty good in the first one. Um, I
Like
didn't like the
if
second.
I made a Halloween movie, I would draw influences from like Seven and Zodiac, and I would try to make it much more realistic and gritty, where
Hmm.
when you watched it, you almost thought it was like based off a real serial killer, something like that.
Hmm. Do you like horror movies or anything?
I don't mind the gory ones. I'm a
Hmm.
big zombie movie lover.
Hmm.
I mean, I've been watching George Romero's movies since I was, 12, 13 years old. Um, in my opinion, Zack Snyder's best film is still his remake of From Dusk Till, or not, From Dusk Till Dawn, Dawn of
Hmm.
the Dead. Um, but I mean, yeah, it's I like gory ones, but yeah, like the paranormal ones. Unless you're like Ari Aster, I'm
Hmm.
probably not going to even give you the chance of day. Um,
Right.
I don't like to be scared personally,
Hmm.
but that's just me. So
Right. Carrie saying Seven's a classic. It is. I like that film. Dawn of the Dead remake is fantastic as well.
yeah,
Uh, thank you, Dan. I really appreciate it. I've been killing it lately because I've had interviews back to back lately because
yeah.
I do this other thing called Creators Corner
Hmm.
where I get YouTubers, TikTokers, and podcasters on here, which is nice. I've had
Yeah, for any prospects listening or creatives looking to do a podcast, I've been impressed with your professionalism and your what's the word I'm looking for. You definitely don't waste any time getting back together, or promptness. Like you're very prompt with
mhm.
responding, so it's very good.
Michael, no, like you to be scared. Or
Uh, yeah, I don't, man. I'm a good. I'm like, okay, so let me put it this way: if it's like a thriller or like a suspense, where it's kind of like a
mhm.
slow burn, I'm okay with it. But like, I don't like just all of a sudden like bam, and I'm like, oh fuck, don't like that.
Right,
Not my cup of tea.
right. She said, "Sorry, I'm being a goofball." Hey, we're all goofballs here. It's okay.
Yeah, your Care Bear name would be Goofball. That's fine. Goofball Bear. Goofball
Yeah,
Bear.
right,
There you
right.
go. Hopefully that one sticks. Patrick, pick it up.
Are you gonna show your kids when they get older the movies you made and the short films? Are you gonna show them?
My kids have already seen them.
Have they?
They don't
That's
remember them
awesome.
because they're too young, but they definitely saw them.
She's asking, have you seen the slow burn Ty West any Ty West films?
Um, this is probably going to get me in trouble. Who is Ty West?
So he did like X and Pearl and stuff like that.
No, I have not. Then apparently, I'm going to have to give this guy a look into because I have no idea who he is up until this point.
He did did he do Malignant? I don't know if he did
I
Malignant.
have heard of that film, but I haven't seen it.
Or is that too Disney? Well, they know that I'm a huge Disney fan. I don't know if you are, but they know that I'm a huge Disney fan.
I'm a huge Disney fan because I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 4-month-old son.
Hmm.
Like, if you ask me, I could probably recite to you the entire movie of Encanto right now.
Oh, I love Encanto. It's such a beautiful movie.
It is.
And
It's
there
great.
was so much controversy against it.
So I will
Oh,
say this: I definitely think Coco was better, but that's just me.
I like Coco. Malignant is James Wan. Oh, oops, my bad. I'm getting them confused. My
Yeah. What
bad.
was his name again, though? Ty West.
Yeah, Ty West.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to
Mally.
take a look into his work. I've never heard of him until now. So, but then
Uh,
again,
Mally.
you also have to remember. I did admit I don't like being scared.
So
So
Pearl.
I probably saw one of his movies on Netflix or something and was just like, "Fuck that," and then
So
yeah.
so Pearl and X are more like Scream. So they're more like slasher films.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out then.
Valley of Violence. I think you might like that one, Michael, with Ethan Hawke and John Travolta.
Ooh, I like both those actors. I did see Black Phone. Do I get credit for that?
Yeah, that's a good one with Ethan Hawke. That's a good one. I like Ty West's House of the Devil. I haven't seen that one. Um, but yeah, that was a good movie though. Yeah, if you watch, I would say watch X first and then watch Pearl because Pearl's like a prequel to X. And Carrie's saying, "I'll give you credit for Black Phone." Black,
Yay!
Black Phone's not really like it's not really like one of those horror movies that's gonna scare you.
Well, yeah,
It's more
well,
like
exactly. And I didn't find it scary. I just thought it was
hmm
a good, gritty, dark movie. And
hmm
thanks, Goofball Bear. Appreciate it.
has your
I'm
daughter
gonna
been
make
to
sure that that sticks. By the way, Carrie, you're gonna be Goofball Bear from now on.
So anytime you see Michael in the chat or something, he's gonna call you that.
Well, I think I got Patrick on my team now. I think I converted him.
Yeah, you did. So Patrick's gonna call her that too. Goofball Bear is born, Patrick's saying.
Oh man, sorry, Carrie.
Um, has your little girl been to Disney World yet or Disneyland?
No, you think I'm made of money? I'm an independent filmmaker, Katie. Come on.
Hey, you don't know. Sometimes they could go young,
I'll do that speech if I ever win like an Oscar or something. When they're like, "Hey, you won an Oscar. What do you want to do next?" I'll be like, take the kids to Disney World, I guess."
right? Hey, and then when you win that Oscar, I'd be like, I know who that person is.
Yeah,
I'd be texting you, be like, congratulations.
and I'll say, "You want to
Won
do
that.
a podcast?"
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
all
I
about.
would. I would
So
totally do that.
I'm all about the sentence, "Rising tides lift all boats." Right.
hmm
So I mean, for example, even if I did win an Oscar, became like a famous Hollywood filmmaker,
hmm
I'm going to remember the people that helped me along the way. And
hmm
so, obviously, at any point, if you wanted to do a podcast, this goes to Patrick too. Like, I'm not just going to forget about you guys and be like, "Well, screw them," whatever.
hmm
They're beneath me now. It's like, no, I'm always going to be available to chat and talk and answer questions. Like, you
Carrie
know,
said I'll check out your indie films and review them, but only if at the ending of your credit in your next film you put Goofball Care Pair appears.
deal. You will be in charge of catering my next feature. So,
That's funny. Um, but no, yeah, I always tell people like, hey, come back if you become a famous, like if you get an Oscar, Emmy, or whatever,
well,
come back and
not to toot my own horn, I do have an Emmy nomination this year. So,
oh, that's awesome
yeah. So
for your
we
film.
no, so we were nominated for a PSA commercial that we did here at the station. So,
Oh, that's awesome. When you
yes,
if you guys win that, I'll have you come back and be like, hey, this is Emmy winner.
yeah,
That's
there you go.
awesome.
I can say Eminem,
I,
a filmmaker. So,
I think I can cater, but I will need a cute tie and bow with sparklers on it.
are you wearing more than that? I hope, or just the tie and bow, because that would be awkward.
Uh, Patrick said congratulations on the Emmy. Congratulations. Yeah, if y'all don't know, Michael also does commercials and film and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Carrie's saying
I
the same
work
thing.
for I work for an NBC affiliated local news station. So
That's awesome though. That's good though that your little commercial or whatever got an Emmy nomination. That's really cool because there's not too many people that could put that in their repertoire.
mhm. Yeah, Joseph the Whore Guy, your comment cracks me up because you had a little typo and you said congrats on the Emma Awards. And what's funny is my wife's name is Emma, and I don't get jack shit as far as awards from her. She's the hardest critic I have. So
She's saying, "Yeah, I'll wear a uniform, required uniform for the cater to cater."
yeah.
Um,
Hey,
I'm
by the
dyslexic,
way,
so sometimes
I said the same thing on the podcast with Patrick. Um, any of you guys that want to find my social media, just Michael James Minor, as it's spelled on the screen. I'm not a jerk. I'm not a dickhead. I don't think I'm better than anyone here. If you guys are actively working filmmakers, add me, ask me any questions you want, network, whatever it may be. I also run a Facebook group on Facebook called For Filmmaking Elites, which Patrick is also a part of. Don't get confused with the word elites because we've had some people be like, well, why has it got to be elites and not professionals? I don't know. I just came up with the name of the group off the top of my head, and that's what we went with. But basically, what it's for is it's for proven industry professionals to network and to chat with each other, get jobs done, answer questions, things of that sort. So, unfortunately, if you're a beginner filmmaker or hobbyist and like you just don't have the experience, you're probably not going to get accepted as of right now. However, keep working at it, show the proof of your work, and at that point, you'll get in with flying colors. But yeah, the group is really centered towards like industry professionals, things of that sort. But like I said, either way, add my personal Facebook. I'm willing to chat, talk to anybody. That's how Katie and I met. It was very organic. I was on Patrick's podcast. Patrick told Katie to reach out to me. Katie reached out to me on Instagram, and here we are. And
Exactly.
yeah, so I mean, like I said, rising tides lift all boats. So I mean, let's. I'm always willing to do whatever I can to help the independent filmmaking community. So
And Carrie said you have adorable kids, and she just followed you.
creepy. No, I'm just kidding.
No, send
They
Carrie
are.
the
They're
link to
very
the movie
adorable. I got
so she,
lucky because they look like my wife. So
um I said send Carrie a link to your movie so she could review it. She does really good. She's done a lot of indie films, like a lot of
damn,
us
you
did.
just passing out my movie for free, Katie? Come
Yep.
on.
No.
No, that's completely fine.
Um. Well, no. Or you could go to Baby U Entertainment and purchase the movie as well.
I mean, that makes me more money so that I can do more. But no, I don't care. In fact, I actually need reviews. You actually bring up a really good
So
point, Katie. Anybody
yeah.
that has an IMDb page, see the film whether you hate it or not. I don't even care if on IMDb you give it like a 1 star. I don't care. But please watch, review the film. Um, like I said, whether you love it or hate it, it helps me out.
Mhm.
Things like that. And then also, yeah, anybody that has like a local magazine, a website, a newspaper, anything like that that does movie reviews, such as like Patrick. If you want to see the film and you don't want to pay for it, I don't care. I will send you a private link, or Katie will send you a private link. You can watch the film, but please make a review. Be honest. Don't be afraid to hurt my feelings because odds are I will watch it and I'll try to learn something from it. Because ultimately, any criticism just helps me be a better filmmaker. So I have very
Mhm.
thick skin. You don't have to worry about holding back. So go for it.
Yeah, I will put up a review this week. I just haven't had time. It's like, and I'm like in the middle of editing it, so it'll be up sometime this week, and I'll send it to you, so that way you can see it and everything like that as well.
Very cool.
I
I
get
and
I, what it
I
is.
appreciate it. Thank you.
What it is with my job, because I work retail,
Mhm.
and it's kind of hard to do like YouTube and edit videos and do all kinds of stuff. So I have like 3 or 4 videos that I'm editing all at once.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I understand exactly what you're going through.
You know. And Patrick saying review and support, of course. You should have killed me, yes. And thank you, Don, for sending the links throughout the night. I appreciate that.
Oh, is he a mod guy
Um,
too?
yeah,
Thanks, Don.
Don the
Don's the
mod,
man. He's the Don
Carrie,
Juan.
Carrie's a mod, Patrick's a mod. Val that was in here. I don't know if she's still in here. She's a mod. I only have mods that I trust
Very
because
cool.
once you have the mod power, a lot of people don't realize with YouTube, once you have the mod power, you can actually um like if somebody makes like a few weeks ago, I actually had somebody. I have a learning disability. I'm dyslexic and I say stuff all the time. I don't pronounce things sometimes the right way, stuff, whatever it may be. And somebody wrote on my Ahsoka review, because I reviewed the first episode of Ahsoka, that I have a third grade reading level.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes you got to let those go over your head and just understand
Yeah.
there are assholes out there, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shout
But
out to the Mod
I
Squad.
mean, you
Yes.
you open it up. I mean, obviously, Katie. One of the questions I was going to ask you is, how did you even get into having your own podcast and doing movie reviews? But I mean, even from what I've seen, like you have pictures of yourself out there. You have
Mm-hmm.
social media,
Mm-hmm.
a presence out there. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as anyone does that, you really are opening yourself up to scrutiny. I mean, a perfect example is I've been quitting and not quitting smoking for about
Mm-hmm.
2 years now,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to a film festival this weekend, and I bought a pack
Mm-hmm.
in front of my wife. And generally, I don't smoke in front of my wife or kids. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, as soon as 5 p.m. hits, like I'm not smoking again until like noon the next day.
Right.
But I bought a pack in front of her, which I had done for a while, and she kind of looked at me and she's like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to want a cigarette before the festival."
Right.
It's like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, because this film is kind of a part of myself, and I'm opening
Mm-hmm.
myself up for people's judgment, and it's always a little nerve wracking."
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, by starting a podcast and doing the exact same thing that you're doing, like, yeah, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
open yourself up to scrutiny, and it just happens.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you. So how I started popping the popcorn, I first I had like this Disney group on Facebook, whatever, because I'm a huge Disney fan, and so I was just doing Disney reviews on Facebook, and everybody's like, and I would type them out, everything like that, and people are like, why don't you just start a podcast? So I said, okay. So I like all different types of film. And so I was like, what do you guys think? So I had like Popcorn Bucket, I had Popping the Popcorn, I had like a couple other like Katie's reviews, whatever. And people said Popping the Popcorn was really cute. And so then I started a podcast. So I had a person with me, and so he couldn't do it, and like our first episode was like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and my mother-in-law came in the middle. I didn't know how to edit at the time or anything, so you hear me stuttering in the first episode. You hear me studying and stuff. And so he couldn't do it anymore after that. So I was like, okay, how about if I, because I was talking in like circles, and people aren't going to listen to me in 8 minutes on a podcast. So I was like, why not just do videos on YouTube? And that's how I became on YouTube. And in October, it will actually be 2 years since I've been on YouTube. That's how that came about. And then Carrie's saying amazing interviews and reviews, and I do like extra, like if I know extra info about the movie, I'll do that. Hey Jerry, I'll do stuff like that. Um, and so that's how Popping the Popcorn came about.
That's great. Well, I mean, what made you want to review movies? Because I mean, you started writing them, things like that.
So my reviews for movies was at like a young age. So my older brother, he's 10 years older than me. He's passed away about 13 years ago, 12 years ago. So he got me into movies. So my first like movie ever seeing like in a movie theater was Edward Scissorhands. So it was a
Very
Tim
cool.
Burton film.
Hmm.
So my love for movies got that way. My older brother introduced me into like The Crow and Freddy Krueger and stuff like that, because he's 10 years older than me. I was 8 years old watching horror movies.
Hmm.
And so as I got older, um, my dad's not like the greatest. Like Patrick knows. I said it on his 8 questions with, because I've been on 8 questions with him. My dad's not the best. My dad's very passive aggressive. So because he was like that, I just drove myself into movies, and that's how I got into movies and loving film and loving all aspects of the movies and stuff like that. And so I just kind of just threw myself, because my life wasn't the best. I just kind of threw myself in film
Very
and
cool.
reviewing them.
Yeah, for the chat who's wondering, I terribly misspelled patience, which is what I was telling Carrie when she was telling me to check it out. So sorry, I'm not perfect.
Carrie Carrie's the grammar police. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
She'll tell me if I spell something wrong.
Patience. That means
Hmm.
patience, Gary.
It's all good. But that's how I became to like films and stuff like that. And I would watch a lot of films with my mom. We'd watch like a lot of Hallmark movies, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
wish
cool. I
someone could
wish
find.
I wish more of my viewers were like you, because every filmmaker I think wants to create an escape for their viewers, and that's really cool that you found that in movies. So
Mhm. Carrie, you're funny. So like
goofball
I
Barry, you're
might
killing me.
like I say I view movies different than most casual viewers because like you were saying like before, like you know how I noticed like the black and white and how the tones got different and stuff like that. I'm that weirdo that notices stuff like that in the movies and the inconsistencies and stuff like that. I notice
Well,
stuff
there's
like that.
lots of inconsistencies, and you should have killed me. I'm sure you'll have a field day with that in your review. I can't wait.
I will give you a good review. I'm not gonna say
Mhm.
the inconsistencies with it just because I want people to watch it.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, there's lots of continuity errors that I didn't. I mean, obviously, when you watch a movie as like a non-filmmaker, you're like, "What? How did you miss that? What is wrong with you?" But then, yeah, from experience, we shot those 10 principal days, and
Mhm.
some of them were at locations we couldn't book out again. And yeah, I got back to the editing room floor, and I was just like, "Oh no." So I had to try
Right.
to hide some of those mistakes as best I could, but I mean, some of them were pretty bad. So
I seen some of them, but I just didn't say anything because I try to when I review movies. That's why I said earlier I didn't do Tim Burton's The Monsters just because I didn't like it. But when I review movies, I try to find the good in the movies and the positive because when you're reviewing movies, I mean, like, yeah, I might not like the film, whatever, but I appreciate the film for the person that made it
mhm.
and the actors. That's what I look for in films. Like, if the film's going to be good, I try not to give a negative review because I want people to actually go watch it,
Yeah,
especially with
absolutely.
indie filmmakers because you guys put a lot of hard work and you guys also have regular 9 to 5 jobs. So
Hmm.
that's why I try not to do that type of thing.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think every goal is to create an escape for their viewers, and I wish more people were like you that actually could find some type of an emotional connection to film. Too many days you have, um,
Hmm.
you know, remakes or just things that don't make any sense, and um, it's always hard connecting with those because it's just kind of the same old stuff over and over again.
Hmm.
So yeah, I appreciate your love of movies. It's a big portion of the reason why I do what I do is I also like creating my own worlds and escaping there for a little bit. So
Hmm.
I will
And
say I will say one thing, not to end anything early because like I said, I'm in it for the long
you're good.
haul. So this goes to the chat too. So I have to use the restroom soon because
Yeah,
I've
you're good.
been drinking water all day. So I'll leave it up to the chat. I can either take a few more questions and then we can cut this early, right around the hour and a half mark, hour 35 mark, or Katie can pause for me to use the restroom and I can come back and we can keep talking. So, chat, you decide and let us know what you want Katie and I to do.
Yeah, guys, let us know. But yeah, that's why I like that. And Patrick says I like to see every director grow with each project. Me too,
Yeah,
because
and,
each
and
project
that's
you
all I
do.
that's all I hope for. I hope I
Mhm.
continuously get better until the day I die. So
Yeah, I agree. Each time he goes, go, go tinkle, and we'll be patient.
Carrie, I like that joke. The through line was perfect. You brought that back. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess I'll say real quick
And then
before.
Don saying go to the bathroom too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess what I'll say is before I stop my camera temporarily or whatever, you might have a waiting screen, Katie. I will
No,
say too is if there's anyone here for me that's a part of like Iowa Film or my cast and crew, things of that sort, give Katie subscribe and a like, help her channel grow. I noticed all week that she's just flirting with the 1K line. Let's try to get her over 100 or 1,000 subscribers. So try to help
thank you.
her out and be sure to spread the word. And yeah, so I'm going to take a break. Katie, what do you want me to do?
Yep.
You want me to pause my video or you got
You could
something?
just yeah you could down there at the bottom you can stop the camera and mute it.
Very cool. I will do that. I will be right back, folks.
Okay. So so I hope everybody is liking the interview so far. Um, show the host some love. Thank you guys. Katie and I both be doing it together. Yes, Carrie. Once we both hit it, we will have a party. We'll have a party once we all hit it. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I'll be right back. I have to use the restroom too. Hold on. Oh. All right, I'm back. Say hi, Mark. Mark's in the background. Michael is yes, he is. He is a fine director. Yes, I agree, Patrick. I'm I'm betting Michael comes back. Confused why he's not. Yes, Mark's okay. I told you I just had to go real fast. I wasn't gonna be that long. They're all saying hi, Mark. He says hi. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's just chilling. So how's everybody's week been? You guys watch anything good lately? Or this week? You guys watch anything good? Oh, Patrick, you'll like my mug. Here, I'll show you guys my mug. Hold on. It's Mr. Mittens from Soul.
Mr. Mittens.
Huh?
Said Mr. Mittens.
Yeah, from Soul. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
It's a Disney movie. It has
Wait.
Jamie Foxx in it.
Yeah, I know. So, okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. I was showing Patrick my cup because I know Patrick has cheetah.
Ah,
I actually had to use the bathroom too, so I went to the bathroom as well.
oh, there you go.
Um,
You beat me because I had to walk to the office.
yeah. Carrie goes, "Oh crap, she won." They were taking bets of who was gonna come first. I want to see that. Oh, Carrie, it's a cute movie. We'll do a collab on it. Hi, man. How are you? Welcome in. Um, and everybody's saying hi to man. So what are some movies that you guys watch movies with your daughter or your son?
Yeah, I mean, most of them, Disney Plus, Pixar, that kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter recently, who's almost 3, discovered Frozen. So we've been watching a lot of Frozen.
I bet you're tired of Let It Go.
Yeah, no pun intended. Every time we turn on the TV, it's like, I want Elsa. I want Elsa. I'm just like,
I
fine.
actually I actually like Frozen 2 better than Frozen 1.
Well, obviously, Frozen 2 is a much better film.
I agree. Oh, here. I was gonna show them too. This is what I'm doing on my channel in the month of October for Halloween. So this is where I live in Florida,
Hmm.
and there's these like different like haunted like places, and I might go to some of those places and actually film it and take pictures. And I thought it would be kind of cool.
Very cool. Yeah, spooky season is around the corner, y'all.
Are you a Halloween fan?
Oh, I'm a big Halloween fan.
Do
By
you like
far,
decorate?
by far, my favorite holiday. I'm just a big fan of the fall and winter in general. So, like that, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas is just like my favorite 3 month period of the year.
Do you guys decorate your house for Halloween and stuff?
Not so much Halloween, but my wife has me out there for Christmas for sure. So
I'm sure
we
Halloween's
always
the only
go out
holiday
and
I like.
cut a tree down every year for Christmas. So that's kind of a
See,
tradition. We'll take the kiddos out, my wife and them will get like hot apple
mhm.
cider with like a cinnamon stick in it. I'm out there freezing my fucking ass off, cutting down a pine tree and hauling it on my
Right.
shoulder and being a
See,
man.
that's what I wanted to do in New York when I was in New York, but they didn't have anywhere to do that because I was all the way upstate New York, but they
Mhm.
didn't have anything like that, and I was like, oh man. But it was very interesting to have a white Christmas last year, and I'm a Florida girl, and so the whole time I was in New York, everybody's like, well, just you wait, and I didn't know that I had to go outside and shovel my car out like an hour before I had to go to work, and then shovel it back out and everything.
Yeah.
Because in Florida, when we drive, we like in the wintertime, you don't even have to wait for your car to warm up. You just drive it.
Yeah. No,
So that was fun.
absolutely.
What?
No, absolutely. We had some snow when I was at Fort Benning in Georgia, and yeah, they closed down post over like 2.5 inches, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is nothing. Why are you guys closing down post?" So
Hmm.
I'm
Well,
used
you
to
guys
like
get a lot
I'm
more
used to
snow
like
over there.
2 feet of snow. I mean, I mean, Patrick's got my back on that. He's uh, definitely
Carrie, Carrie
north.
actually has you beat. Carrie lives in Buffalo, and you remember last year when the Buffalo Stadium. I don't know if you're a football
Hmm.
fan, but
Yeah,
the
it caved
Buffalo
in.
Stadium and where she lives, she couldn't get out of the house for like 2 or 3 days.
Wow. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I was weird. We may not get as much snow as everyone else, but which sucks for us is there's
Mhm.
multiple times in the winter for some reason where I live, where Waterloo, Iowa is like the coldest city in the United States. Like they'll show like Anchorage,
Mhm.
Alaska, and it's like -20, and Waterloo is like -30. It's wild. So
Buffalo got snow yesterday? Interesting. Are you
lies.
Oh, he's talking about the Bills. Oh, okay. I guess they lost yesterday? I don't know, I didn't watch the game. I don't know. Or yesterday? Sunday? I don't know. I don't know what day they played. Are you a sports fan?
Yeah, I'm a college football guy, but I follow the NFL because I have a work fantasy tournament
Uh-huh.
going on right now. So
Yeah, they're talking about football. And I was like, it got snow, and Carrie's like, no. That's funny. I feel stupid now. That's okay. I'm not much of a football fan. I mean, like I do like football, but I'm more of a baseball and hockey fan.
there you go. Yeah, I like hockey as well.
Florida Panthers, go Florida Panthers.
Yeah, I kind of just I don't see being in Iowa. We don't really have any professional sports teams in our state,
Mhm.
so I just kind of follow players. So like Brandon Montour was a
Mhm.
Waterloo Blackhawk before he joined the
Mhm.
pros, and
Mhm.
that's obviously in my hometown. So I was able to watch him play was when he was in high school. So my favorite
Mhm.
hockey team generally just happens to be whatever team Montour is playing for. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I've also been to Tampa Bay too. I've seen them play and I've been to that stadium. And actually, Tampa Bay Lightning, I got lost in downtown Tampa because I didn't know that in downtown Tampa they were like one-way streets. And I'm like going one way and I'm like trying to make a U-turn to go back to the stadium and I did it in the wrong spot. I'm like, luckily there was no cop there or no cars coming because that would have been bad. You still you still do better with Monday Night Football than Aaron Rodgers did, Katie.
Yeah, it's because
Oh yeah.
he tore his Achilles in the first
Mm-hmm.
quarter, and he's
Mm-hmm.
out for the season. Sorry, Jets.
Yeah.
I think they
He
still
was
won
on
though.
the Packers at one point. I know
Yeah,
that
I
much.
mean he's been on the Packers for like 10 years, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaron or yeah. Rodgers. Yeah. That sucked.
I mean, that's unfortunate. I feel like that's pretty much a game over for him. I mean, he's already getting old the way it is, but you never know. Maybe I mean he's bros with Joe Rogan. I'm sure Joe Rogan would give him some stem cell research shit to help him heal
Mhm.
or some stuff and get him ready for next season. Who knows?
Right. Or or he's gonna be like another Brett Favre and just stay, or another Tom Brady and just stay.
Yeah, you know you're in the NFL too long when you start sending dick pics to people.
Right? Exactly. So did your film ever go to like any indie did you go to any indie festivals or anything for your film?
Yeah, quite a bit actually. Excuse me. I'm looking at a thing to remind me.
You're good, no
Uh,
worries.
what's up?
I said you're good, no worries.
So I entered at a local film festival called the Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or no, Cedar Rapids Independent Film Festival, but Cedar Rapids is in Iowa. And we actually won our category. We won the Gold Eddie Award, is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually the first film festival we ever put the film in, and yeah, I got it right here.
Oh, that's awesome.
There we
Congratulations.
go. So yeah, we won that, which is kind of a sigh of relief for me because obviously you have a lot of imposter syndrome and you think your movie sucks all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we made it into another Iowa festival called the Iowa Motion Picture Awards. They've been
Mm-hmm.
described as the Oscars for Iowa. Um, Basically, it's like a
Mm-hmm.
red carpet event, free food, free drinks, fancy ordeal. We actually won. I'm going to say a certain word, and I hope you can tell the difference. We won in con,
I don't
not
know what
at
that one is.
not at con. Um, so con is, it looks like Cannes, Kannes. It's where a bunch of huge movies always come out every year. We actually
Mm-hmm.
won at the Cannes Indie Cinema Awards this year. Won our category there. Um, yeah, all over the place.
That's
I'm
awesome.
kind of reading off of this like
Mm-hmm.
makeshift
Are
artwork,
you
and so those are all the laurels we
Oh,
have
that's
so far.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Are you gonna take it to Sundance maybe?
no, the way Sundance works, unfortunately, is if you put it in any other festival before Sundance, they won't show it. It has to premiere at Sundance. And I didn't want to wait for Sundance to come around to put this in
Mm-hmm.
festivals. So we decided to skip on Sundance this year. So
Gotcha. I did not know that they did that. Learn
yeah,
something new every
if
day.
your film is available anywhere else, like even if it's just YouTube, they won't
Mm-hmm.
accept it. Sundance wants premieres to go to Sundance. So
Interesting. Huh. No wonder why like 500 Days of Summer with Joseph Gordon-Levitt just went to Sundance and then nobody knew about that film. That was like an indie film. I mean, like he was known at the time. Him and Zoe Zoe Deschanel was known at the time, but it just went to like Sundance. The director was unknown,
mhm.
but they were kind of known at the time. But that's interesting. I did not know that about
Yeah,
Sundance.
yeah, they want the best of the best. I think they say the 1% of the 1% are the ones that actually get in there. And I can tell you right now, fully confident, if we had waited for Sundance and we had put "You Should Have Killed Me" in Sundance, as much as I like that movie for what it is, I guarantee we wouldn't have got in. We wouldn't have been selected. So there's a lot of really, really, really good filmmakers out there. And yeah, I just don't think I'm quite at that level yet. Obviously, keep in mind this was my first feature. Maybe over time, but as of right now, no, I don't think we would have got in. So.
Hey, well, that's good though. Maybe your next film you can put it in Sundance or something. See
Yeah,
how
we'll
it
see.
goes.
The next film is called Dissonance. Think of Reservoir Dogs meets Knives Out. Um,
Hmm.
it's a crime, gangster, murder mystery who done it. Of course, mixed in with some of my witty banter occasionally. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
that will
excited.
be cool. I'm excited for that. I loved Out at Knives and Reservoir Dogs as well, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have some of the same actors in it? Or are you gonna do different
I
actors?
don't think so. I think we're kind of recasting. It'll definitely be in the same universe as like "You Should Have Killed Me," but yeah, we won't have any direct actors from "You Should Have Killed Me."
Hmm.
Um, Not that any of them were bad or anything, but excuse me. Um, I try to work with as many new people as I can, just to give
Hmm.
other creatives an opportunity to let their dreams also come true and maybe make something of themselves.
Hmm.
So I've been trying to kind of cast this movie in the mindset of like, hey, it would be really easy to work with, like I said earlier, like Michael alumni, people that I've worked with
Hmm.
before, but try to give people that you haven't worked with a shot and see what you can do with them. So
That's awesome though. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be awesome because you're an awesome. Um,
well, thank you, I appreciate
you're welcome. So
it. Sorry.
the houses that you guys got the locations from, were they houses that you had to rent for like the day, or did you just do it at your house or what?
So the house that has Jules in it, played by Megan, that I was explaining earlier, that's my house.
Hmm.
Uh, the Ducky and Kevin's house is actually a anchor that used to work here, who now went to a larger market in Ohio. That was his house. He was a friend of mine from work. Um, and yeah, I think all of the other all the other places were either outside and or local businesses in Waterloo.
Hmm.
So the end diner scene at in "You Should Have Killed Me," it's a place called Newton's Diner. I had talked about going through
Hmm.
that wall earlier, and a block and a half later, you're at Jameson's. Well, another block after that is Newton's. Um, and then, like I just said, Jameson's is like a block and a half behind
Hmm.
me that way. Um, and then Rudy's Tacos is just a couple of miles away. Once again, that direction. But
Hmm.
they're all places I frequent. I go there all the time. Um, people
Maybe.
have people have my orders memorized. Like, hey, you getting the 3 beef and bean
Hmm.
tacos again? And I'm like, yeah. And then
Hmm.
yeah. So I mean, yeah.
That's awesome. And do they know that you're a filmmaker? Any of those places besides
Well, I
Jameson's? Do the
mean,
other places
yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, they do because I mean, I asked to film there. Obviously,
Hmm.
they might not know the extent of me being a filmmaker.
Hmm.
Obviously, you have your outliers out there, but a lot of the filmmaking community is just kind of local filmmakers that um, the ultimate
Hmm.
goal for them is maybe to just put it in a few Iowa film festivals, whereas um, I put my films in festivals all over the world and do
Hmm.
interviews, do podcasts, and am in magazines and whatever
Hmm.
else. So, I mean, yeah, just and like there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I don't. I think a lot of the places I shoot at, when I kind of go like, yeah, I'm a filmmaker, they're just kind of like, oh, here we go, another
Mm,
guy that thinks he's a filmmaker, and I don't think they necessarily understand like the extent of it until
mm-hmm.
like the movie comes out, and then like I'll run into them and they'll be like, "Hey, how's your movie going?" I'm like, "Great, yeah, it's it's out for worldwide Blu-ray release. You can pretty much stream it, on Amazon and everything like that." And then they're like, "Whoa, really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Holy crap!" And then I think it kind of finally dawns on them that like, "Oh shit, this was a bigger thing than we thought." So.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then I know you said earlier that you were recognized. Have you been recognized since your film came out?
Yes, but it was partially set up. My coworker and I did a guest talk at my alma mater where I went to film school, and when we were walking into Black Hawk Hall, which is where all of my classes were, Tyler and I, my coworker who also graduated from there, you could see there was a few students that were just kind of like, but yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's mostly just local. Like, I mean, if I drove 5 hours to Chicago, I can bet you my life no one's going to know who I am there. So.
Right. That's the so next door to me where I work at the mall that I work at, so
Mhm.
there's a clothing and shoe store. It's a Finish Line. So everybody there knows that I'm a YouTuber and stuff like that, and they're like, "You're famous." I'm like, "No, I'm not famous." I
If
have
I
nine
was famous, I wouldn't be working here. I'd be doing this full time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like you because on Instagram I have like 1,200 and then on here I have like 900 subscribers. So they're like, "You're famous," and I was like, "Nah, I'm just a little person on the total poll. I'm not famous." That's what I tell them.
Talk to me when I'm like 2.5 million or something.
Exactly. Come to me when I'm actually making when I'm
Yeah.
monetized and I can
Yeah.
actually
You
make
you
money and
know when
stuff.
I'm famous because it'll be the day I come in and put in my 2 weeks.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I said it's more of a hobby than a job to me, but I treat it like it's my second job or first job or whatever you want to call it. But I'm just like, no, I'm not really famous. They're like, yes, you are, and then they're like, how would you deal with that? And I was like, I don't even know how I deal with somebody recognizing me. You know, I think I would because I'm an extrovert, but I think if somebody recognized me, I think I'd be like, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah. It's pretty strange. I feel like it should get easier, but I've only had a few of them, a few run-ins, so it still seems weird to me. Um,
Yeah, I'm sure you were like, oh hi,
yeah,
or
no, you're
something
doing a
like that.
great job. Like I said, I definitely admire your promptness, and uh, been very easy to work with, and your chat's been great, very hospitable. I would
Thank you.
argue that you're actually better than Patrick. But who's really to judge?
Patrick's awesome though. He does it his way. I do it my way.
Yeah.
Cause I feel like if I'm gonna have a guest on, I wait for the guest. I know he doesn't, but I like to wait for the guest just because that's just me, and I just like to do it that way.
Yeah. No problems. Well, hey,
All
chat.
right,
Um,
all
anybody
right,
got
guys.
any more questions for Katie and I?
Yeah, let's see what you guys got. We have 6 people watching. So what questions do you have, Don? Do you have any questions? Because I know you are also a kind of not really famous, but kind of famous too. So Don, do you have any questions?
Is
I'm
Don
putting Don
the
on the
is
spot.
Don the Night Owl movie talk?
Yeah, I'm talking to Night Owl Movie
Yeah,
Talk. His name's Don.
he has been the comedian of the comment section all night.
Oh,
I kept
he
cracking up for
he is.
I had talked
If you
about cutting down Christmas trees, and he made a comment that said "Salute to Arbor Day," and it cracked me up.
Yes, Patrick. Everybody has different styles for sure. Uh, Dawn, if you go, I would love to hear your worst film festival horror story.
Mine? Oh man, I am gonna tell this story, um, but I'm not going to say any names, and I'm not going to say the name of the film festival because odds are uh, a big group of those board members could watch this. So this is the only part of the interview that's probably going to make me sound like an asshole, and that's fine. Um, Let me go into this by saying I understand that art is subjective. I get that. Totally get it. However, one of my favorite things about filmmaking is I do like that it's pretty black and white. I like the fact that you can watch something and be like, hey, this person's really good, or hey, this person needs a little bit more time to, hone their craft, need to work at it a little bit more. Um, and I like that part of filmmaking. Um, Now, with that being said, um, there was a film festival that I went to and I attended this year. Um, and I very quickly got a sense that they kind of just pat the board members on the back and just kind of say, fuck you to everyone else. Um, and so after that, this summer, I will no longer actually be submitting my films to them because I had such a horrible experience of, I'm just going to be brutally honest, filmmakers that are nowhere near my caliber and other people's caliber, like winning awards just because they're on the board. And that is unacceptable for me. And yeah, so I will not be putting my films in that film festival anymore until they get that issue fixed, which is unfortunate because I really did enjoy that film festival.
I'm sorry that happened to you. That really stinks.
So, I mean, it goes with saying, I mean, obviously at some point you're going to have to play politics, but, when I'm watching a short film that is all handheld, looks like shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no color grade on it. The score like cuts in and out randomly. There's just no thought into editing whatsoever. And then that award ends up winning like an award of excellence. And then like, I don't even get
Mm-hmm.
nominated. It's like, okay.
Right. And Patrick saying if you buy ads, you might be winning awards.
I'm going to have to start apparently.
Mm-hmm. I
I don't, I
agree.
don't want to play politics and I refuse to play politics. I refuse to do it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
even go into award ceremony like we talked about, like the Oscars,
Mm-hmm.
like seven of the greatest directors of all time have never won an Oscar. Tarantino's
Right.
never won an Oscar for best director. Like I don't think Scorsese's won one. I don't think Steven Spielberg's won one. Like I I don't know. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's all like a popularity contest and like
Right.
which metaphoric dick you're willing to suck to get ahead in the game. And like I'm not going to do that. Like I'm just going to keep making art and I'm going to keep doing my thing. And if I don't win an Oscar, or if I don't win an Emmy or whatever it may be because of it, then that's fine with me.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. Anybody have any other questions? I'm gonna let Michael go so he can go hang out with his family for a little while. And let us know in the comments section below if you have any more questions for Michael, and I can shoot them it over to him, and he can answer the question for you, and I can answer it back for you if you guys like. And subscribe to the channel, and go check out Michael's movie. You can go check it out on Bayview Entertainment. And is it anywhere else, or is it just Bayview?
Yeah, it's starting to come out slowly. So like you can get the Blu-ray if you are still into physical copies. It's available on Amazon, Walmart, couple, excuse me, a couple of other like Blu-ray um, retail places. And then you can actually rent it on Amazon. It's set to come out on Tubi and IndieBox soon. And I'm not sure what Peter has up his sleeve if he's tackling anyone else, but we'll see. But yeah, on my end, if there's anybody here that's watching this podcast for me, uh, like Kate said, give her a subscribe. I know this channel is super close to hitting 1K subscribers. Let's try to make that happen. And then yeah, your chat once again. If you guys have any questions for me, like I said earlier, Michael James Minard, the way you see it on the screen, that's me on Facebook. You can add me. I'd be more than happy to answer any messages or talk or anything like that. Obviously, I'll get busy with the kids from time to time, but I promise you I will respond at some point. So,
All right, guys. I hope everybody has a great night and go check out the movie. And I hope you guys enjoyed this interview and have a great night. Love you all. Bye, everybody.
bye.